You ignorant little rat. Did you just eavesdrop on my conversation? Bradford Wellington III's face reddens. The yacht deck goes silent. Simone Harris freezes mid-step, a tray of champagne flutes balanced in her hands. No, sir, I was just passing. Liar. He snatches the wine bottle from the table. You people always listen, always scheming, always trying to take what isn't yours. The Bordeaux splashes across her uniform, cold, sticky, $1,000 soaking into white fabric. Gasps ripple through the crowd of 50 guests. I'm sorry, Mr. Wellington. Please, I didn't hear anything. Shut your mouth when I'm talking. He grabs her wrist, yanks her toward the decorative piranha tank at the deck's edge. The glass enclosure is 6 feet long, 3 feet wide. The fish circle inside, teeth flashing. He places both hands on her shoulders, shoves hard. She stumbles backward, her spine hitting the tank's rim. Water sloshes. The piranhas dart. Maybe a swim will teach you your place. Have you ever watched evil destroy itself? 3 weeks earlier, Miami. The sun hasn't risen yet. Simone Harris pulls her Honda Civic into the service entrance of the Wellington estate at 5:47 a.m. The mansion sprawls across 2 acres of waterfront property. White columns, marble steps, a fountain that cost more than most people earn in a lifetime. She adjusts her maid uniform in the rearview mirror. Plain. Invisible. Exactly what she needs to be. The kitchen door clicks open with her employee key. Inside, stainless steel appliances gleam under recessed lighting. The air smells like lemon polish and money. She sets down her cleaning cart. To anyone watching, it's filled with spray bottles and microfiber cloths. Hidden beneath the false bottom, 3 recording devices, 2 encrypted hard drives, and a camera no bigger than a shirt button. Simone starts her routine. She polishes the entry hall's marble floor until it reflects the chandelier above. Each stroke of the mop covers another foot of stone that costs more per square inch than her fake monthly salary. The grandfather clock chimes 6 times. She moves to Bradford Wellington's home office. The door should be locked. It isn't. Men who believe they're untouchable rarely bother with basic security. His desk holds 3 laptops. One sits open, password screen glowing. She photographs the sticky note underneath the keyboard. People always write their passwords down. Always. File cabinets line the wall. She opens the top drawer. Inside, folders labeled with company names she recognizes from CIA briefings. Welltech Defense Systems. Horizon Military Solutions. Names that sound legitimate. The documents inside tell a different story. Purchase orders for missile guidance systems. Shipping manifests to ports in countries under international sanctions. Bank transfers through shell corporations in the Cayman Islands. She photographs 12 pages before footsteps echo in the hallway. Simone closes the drawer, grabs her feather duster. When Bradford's wife, Celeste, walks past, she's dusting a bookshelf, humming softly. Celeste doesn't even glance at her. To people like the Wellingtons, staff aren't people. They're furniture that moves. By 8 a.m., Simone has prepared breakfast, poached eggs, imported prosciutto, fresh squeezed orange juice that costs $18 a glass. She arranges everything on a silver tray and carries it to the dining room. Bradford sits at the head of the table, phone pressed to his ear. He's speaking Russian. Simone's Russian is fluent, but she keeps her face blank, uncomprehending. The shipment leaves Tuesday, he says into the phone. 400 million. The Iranians are getting impatient. She sets the tray down gently. He waves her away without looking up, like swatting a fly. In the kitchen, she touches the small communication device hidden in her cleaning cart. It looks like a phone charger. Nightingale to Overwatch, she whispers. Confirmed mention of Iranian shipment. Tuesday departure, 400 million USD. Requesting permission to access warehouse location. Static. Then a voice. Copy, Nightingale. Permission granted. Proceed with caution. The next 2 weeks blur together. Each day, Simone scrubs floors and dusts shelves and serves meals. Each night, she uploads encrypted files to CIA servers. Evidence builds like sediment, layer by layer. She learns Bradford's patterns. He wakes at 7, works out with a personal trainer who costs $300 an hour, takes calls in his office with the door open because he doesn't care who hears. Why would he? The staff don't speak English well enough to understand, except Simone speaks 6 languages and understands everything. She witnesses how he treats the other household employees. The Guatemalan gardener who gets yelled at for trimming a hedge wrong. The Filipino cook who flinches when Bradford enters the kitchen. The Mexican housekeeper who was fired for asking about overtime pay. Simone catalogs it all, not just the crimes that will put him in prison, but the cruelty that reveals who he really is. On day 17, Bradford hosts a small dinner party. 8 guests, all white, all wealthy. She serves wine and clears plates and stays silent while they talk about the immigration problem and those people and crime in the inner cities. One guest notices her. "Bradford, where do you find such obedient help?" Bradford laughs. "You have to train them young. Let them know who's in charge. They respect strength." Simone refills his wine glass. Her hand doesn't shake. Her face shows nothing. But the camera in her uniform button records every word. 3 weeks in, her handler sends the message. Wellington planning yacht party. Full guest list includes Senator Hayes and known foreign arms dealers. This is your window. Maintain cover. Gather final evidence. The invitation arrives 2 days later. All household staff required to work the event. 12 hours on a yacht with 50 witnesses and nowhere to run. Simone confirms her attendance. The mission is almost complete. The yacht sits anchored 3 miles off Key Biscayne. The Providence. 150 feet of gleaming white hull and polished brass. It cost Bradford Wellington $42 million. He mentions this to every guest who boards. Simone arrives with the other staff at 4 p.m. The catering manager assigns positions. She gets deck service. Champagne and hors d'oeuvres for the VIP section. Exactly where she needs to be. The guest list reads like a who's who of American power and international corruption. Senator Mitchell Hayes from the Armed Services Committee. 3 defense contractors whose companies supply weapons to the Pentagon. 2 men with diplomatic passports from countries that shouldn't be doing business with Americans. And a dozen socialites who exist to be photographed at events like this. By 7 p.m., the sun melts into the ocean. The sky turns amber and gold. Someone turns on the decorative lighting. The piranha tank glows blue-green, the fish darting between artificial coral. Bradford chose the piranhas himself. He tells anyone who'll listen that they're a conversation piece, a reminder that even in paradise there are predators. Simone moves through the crowd with a tray of champagne flutes. Crystal Roederer. $300 a bottle. She's served 43 glasses in the past hour. Her feet ache in the required black heels. Her uniform collar itches, but her button camera captures everything. She passes Senator Hayes talking to a man in an expensive linen suit. The senator's voice carries. "Are we secure discussing this here?" The linen suit laughs. "Relax, Mitchell. They're just the help. Invisible." Simone adjusts her tray. Moves closer. The senator continues. "The Oversight Committee is asking questions about the Middle East contracts." "Let them ask." Linen suit sips his champagne. "By the time they figure out what to investigate, the shipments will be complete." She commits every word to memory. Keep moving. Professional. Unremarkable. Bradford stands near the yacht's stern, surrounded by admirers. He's already drunk. His words slur at the edges. His face glows red in the golden hour light. "The problem with this country," he announces, "is that we've forgotten the natural order. Some people are meant to lead. Others are meant to serve. A woman in diamonds laughs. Bradford, you can't say that anymore. Why not? It's true. He gestures broadly, nearly spilling his scotch. Look at my staff. I provide jobs. I give them opportunities they'd never have otherwise. They should be grateful. Simone passes behind him, offers fresh champagne to his circle. They take glasses without acknowledgement, without thanks, like taking napkins from a dispenser. She's photographed 12 incriminating conversations, recorded proof of an arms deal worth $400 million, evidence of bribes to a sitting senator. Everything the CIA needs to dismantle Wellington's operation. The mission is almost complete. 6 more hours and she can disappear. Simone Harris, the maid, will quit without notice. The evidence will go to prosecutors, and Bradford Wellington will never know what hit him. Then she makes a mistake. At 7:43 p.m., she's passing the bar when Bradford leans close to a short man with wire-rimmed glasses. Their voices drop. Simone slows, adjusting the champagne flutes on her tray to buy 3 extra seconds near them. Bradford says, "The Iranian shipment leaves Tuesday, 400 million. Once it's in international waters, there's nothing they can do to stop it." Wire-rimmed glasses nods. What about the CIA investigation? What investigation? I own half the oversight committee. Simone's hand trembles. A champagne flute tilts. She steadies it. But the motion catches Bradford's eye. He stops mid-sentence, turns, stares directly at her. The deck goes quiet. Not actually silent. The string quartet still plays. Guests still laugh. But in the bubble around Bradford and Simone, sound seems to die. "You." His voice cuts like a blade. "What did you hear?" Simone's training kicks in. Stay calm. Stay in character. "Nothing, sir. I was just passing through." Liar. He steps closer. The scotch on his breath mixes with expensive cologne. "You stopped. You listened. I saw you." "Sir, I apologize if I gave that impression. I was adjusting the tray. Do you know who I am?" His voice rises. Guests turn to watch. "Do you understand what I could do to you?" Her pulse hammers, but her voice stays level, deferential. "Yes, sir. I'm very sorry. It won't happen again." Bradford's face darkens. Red blooms across his cheeks like burst capillaries. "You people, you're all the same. Always listening, always watching, always trying to take what isn't yours." The words hang in the air. Several guests shift uncomfortably. But nobody speaks up. Nobody interrupts. He grabs the wine bottle from the bar. A 2015 Chateau Margaux. The sommelier opened it 30 minutes ago to let it breathe. $1,200. Bradford tilts it over Simone's head. The wine cascades down. Cold liquid soaks through her hair, runs down her face, stains her white uniform crimson. She gasps. The champagne flutes crash to the deck. Glass shatters. The string quartet stops playing. 50 people watch. At least 20 have their phones out. Recording, posting, streaming. Nobody moves to help. "This is why I never hire your kind for important events," Bradford announces. His voice projects across the deck, performing for his audience. "Always so clumsy and incompetent, always causing problems." Wine drips from Simone's chin. Her uniform clings to her skin. Her hands shake, not from fear but from rage she has to suppress. "Mr. Wellington, please." "Please what?" He laughs. "Please forgive you for spying, for eavesdropping on private conversations. I wasn't. Don't lie to me." His hand shoots out. Fingers wrap around her wrist, squeeze hard enough to leave marks. "You were listening. You heard things you shouldn't have heard. Things that could be very dangerous for someone like you to know." He pulls her forward. She stumbles in the wet heels. He drags her across the teak deck toward the yacht's stern, toward the glowing blue-green tank. The piranhas sense movement. They swirl faster. 30 fish, each one 8 inches long, teeth designed to strip flesh from bone in minutes. Simone's training runs through her mind. Mission parameters, extraction protocols, rules of engagement. She's supposed to maintain cover at all costs. Supposed to wait for backup. Supposed to let the evidence speak for itself in court. But Bradford Wellington isn't following the script. You want to know what happens to thieves and spies? He positions her in front of the tank. The glass is cold against her back. The water inside sloshes with the yacht's gentle rocking. You want to know what I do to people who threaten me? Sir, I'm just a maid. I don't know anything. Shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. Spittle flies from his lips. His pupils are dilated. The scotch and cocaine mixture his doctor pretends not to know about. You think you're smart? You think you can outsmart me? He places both hands on her shoulders. His gold rings catch the light. Maybe a swim will teach you your place. He shoves. Hard. Simone stumbles backward. Her spine slams into the tank's metal rim. Water sloshes over the edge. The piranhas dart toward the disturbance. She catches herself on the railing. Barely. Her feet slip on the wet deck. Bradford reaches for her again, this time to push her over. Into the tank. Into the water with 30 fish that can smell blood in the water from 100 feet away. The crowd gasps. A woman screams. Someone yells, "Bradford, that's enough!" He ignores them. His hands close on her shoulders again. Simone makes her decision. The mission is over. Her cover is blown, and she's not dying for it. She stops trying to look scared. Her posture changes. Her breathing steadies. The trembling in her hands disappears. When she speaks, her voice drops into a register Bradford Wellington has never heard from the help. Federal agent, release me. Now. Bradford laughs. It's a wet, ugly sound. Spittle flies from his mouth. Federal agent? He squeezes her shoulders harder. What kind of pathetic game is this? Simone doesn't flinch, doesn't beg. Her eyes lock onto his. I said release me. You're a maid. Nobody. His fingers dig deeper. You think you can threaten me with some fantasy? Mr. Wellington. Her voice cuts through his rambling, cold, authoritative. You have 3 seconds to remove your hands before I add another assault charge to your arrest warrant. Something in her tone makes him pause. His grip loosens. Not much, but enough. Then his paranoia kicks in harder than his common sense. Kyle! He shouts for his head of security. Kyle, get over here! Kyle Brennan pushes through the crowd. Former Boston PD. Got fired for excessive force complaints. Now he makes 3 times his old salary intimidating people for Bradford Wellington. Boss, this woman was spying on my conversation. Check her. Check everything. She's got a wire or a phone or something. Kyle's eyes narrow. He's dealt with plenty of difficult staff before. You want me to search for her? I want you to find out what she's hiding. Simone stands perfectly still. Her mind calculates options. She could stop this now. Show her credentials. Call in backup. But the longer she waits, the more evidence she collects. Every illegal action Bradford takes is another charge. Another year added to his sentence. She lets it play out. Ma'am, I need you to empty your pockets. Kyle's voice carries fake politeness. The kind cops use right before they get rough. You have no legal authority to search me, Simone says. Calm. Factual. Bradford steps closer. This is my yacht, my staff, my property. I can do whatever I want. Human beings aren't property, Mr. Wellington. Shut up, he nods to Kyle. Search for her, now. Kyle reaches for her uniform pockets. Simone doesn't resist, doesn't give him an excuse to escalate physically. He pulls out her phone. a burner with nothing incriminating on it. Bradford snatches it from Kyle's hand, scrolls through. His face reddens further when he finds nothing. No saved messages, no suspicious contacts. Just a clean phone that looks exactly like what a minimum wage worker would carry. "Where's the rest?" Bradford demands. "The rest of what?" "The recording equipment, the camera, whatever you're using." "I'm not using anything, Mr. Wellington." He throws the phone. It arcs over the yacht's railing, splashes into the dark Caribbean water. Gone. "Oops." His smile is vicious. Butterfingers. A few guests laugh nervously. Most look uncomfortable. Several have stopped filming, put their phones away. This stopped being entertaining. Now it's ugly. But nobody intervenes. Nobody calls him out. Nobody tells him to stop. Senator Hayes stands 20 feet away, studying his shoes. The defense contractors find sudden interest in the horizon. The socialites whisper behind manicured hands but don't move. Simone catalogs every face, every witness who said nothing. She'll remember them all. Bradford circles her like a predator. "You know what I think? I think you're one of those activist types, trying to record me, trying to get a lawsuit, trying to steal money from people who actually earned it." "I'm trying to serve champagne, Mr. Wellington." "You're trying to destroy me." His voice cracks. The cocaine and alcohol and paranoia form a toxic mixture. "People like you. You're always trying to take what isn't yours, always playing victim, always looking for a handout." He stops directly in front of her, leans in close. His breath reeks. "You people come into this country, into my house, onto my yacht, and you think you deserve respect? You think you're equal?" He laughs. "You exist to serve people like me. That's your purpose, your only value." Simone's jaw clenches, but her training holds. Every word he says is being recorded. The button camera in her uniform is still streaming. Backup protocol activated when she didn't check in 30 minutes ago. Help is coming. She just has to survive until it arrives. "I want you on your knees," Bradford says suddenly. The deck goes completely silent now. Even the gentle slap of waves against the hull seems to stop. "Excuse me?" "You heard me. You spilled wine. You broke glasses. You made a mess of my deck." He points to the shattered crystal and red puddles. "Clean it up. On your knees. With your hands." "Mr. Wellington, I need cleaning supplies." "Use your hands. Use your uniform. I don't care." His smile widens. "Unless you want to go for that swim after all." The piranha tank glows behind her. The fish dart between rocks and coral, waiting. Simone looks at the crowd. 50 people, 20 cameras, hundreds of thousands of dollars in designer clothes and jewelry. Not one person speaks up. She kneels slowly, keeps her dignity even as she lowers herself to the deck, picks up a shard of crystal. Red wine stains her fingers. Bradford places his foot on her hand. Not hard enough to break bones, just hard enough to hurt, to humiliate, to demonstrate control. She gasps, tries to pull back. His foot presses down harder. "Did I say you could move?" "You're hurting me." "Am I?" He grinds his heel. "I'm so sorry. Maybe if you were more careful, these accidents wouldn't happen." Kyle stands behind Bradford, arms crossed, smirking. He's seen this before, enjoyed it before. A woman in the crowd finally speaks up. "Bradford, this isn't—" "Shut up, Patricia." He doesn't even look at her. "This doesn't concern you." Patricia's husband takes her elbow, pulls her back, whispers something. She goes quiet. Bradford lifts his foot. Simone pulls her hand back. Red indentations mark where his heel pressed. She picks up another piece of glass, drops it in her palm. He crouches down beside her, whispers loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "You want to know a secret?" His lips nearly touch her ear. I could make you disappear tonight. Right here. Middle of the ocean. No witnesses who matter. No body to find. He gestures to the dark water beyond the yacht. You people. You're replaceable. Forgotten. Nobody would even ask questions. Just another illegal person who went back home, right? Simone's heart pounds, but her mind stays clear. She's been in worse situations, survived worse threats. The CIA trained her for this, but the people watching didn't. They're seeing a wealthy white man threaten to murder a black woman, and they're doing nothing. Bradford stands, addresses his guests like a ringmaster. This is what I was talking about earlier. The natural order. Some people lead, some people serve, and some people, he looks down at Simone, need to be reminded of their place. He turns to Kyle. Get her bag, the cleaning cart she brought on board. Check everything. If she's hiding recording equipment, I want it found and destroyed. Kyle disappears below deck, returns 3 minutes later dragging Simone's supply cart, the one that looks like standard janitorial equipment. He dumps it on the deck. Spray bottles roll, rags scatter, sponges bounce across teak wood. Bradford kicks through the pile. Where is it? Where's the wire? There is no wire. Liar! He grabs a spray bottle, throws it overboard, then another, then a scrub brush. Each item splashes into the Caribbean. You think I'm stupid? You think I don't know what you're doing? He picks up her cleaning apron, tears through the pockets, finds nothing, throws it at her face. Strip the uniform. I want to see what you're hiding underneath. The crowd gasps. Even Senator Hayes looks up now. Lines have been crossed. This is too far. Mr. Wellington, I cannot and will not. Then you can swim! He grabs her arm, yanks her to her feet, drags her back toward the tank. The piranhas swirl faster. They sense the activity, the splashing, something prey-sized moving near their water. Bradford's hand closes on her throat, not choking, just holding, demonstrating power. Last chance. Tell me who you're working for. Tell me who sent you. Simone's eyes water. Not from fear, from oxygen deprivation. His thumb presses on her windpipe. Or I throw you in, and we'll see how long you last. The yacht's captain appears at the bridge. His face was pale. He's radioed the Coast Guard. Backup is coming. But they're still 20 minutes out. Simone has to make a choice. Maintain cover and risk actual harm, or reveal her identity and potentially compromise the mission. Bradford's hand tightens. His other hand grips her shoulder. He's actually going to do it. Actually going to throw her into a tank of piranhas in front of 50 witnesses because his paranoia and racism and cocaine-fueled rage have convinced him it's justified. Her vision starts to gray at the edges. 3 helicopters appear on the horizon. Their searchlights cut through the gathering darkness. Bradford doesn't notice. He's too focused on Simone, too committed to his demonstration of power. She makes her decision. Mission accomplished. Evidence secured. Time to end this. Simone's hand moves to her collar. Fast, precise. Her fingers close on the button camera and rip it free. The tiny device dangles from a wire, still recording, still transmitting. Her other hand strikes Bradford's wrist, a pressure point technique that makes his fingers spasm open. His grip on her throat releases. She steps back, plants her feet. Her entire body language transforms. The submissive hunch disappears. Her shoulders square. Her chin lifts. When she speaks, her voice carries across the deck with absolute authority. Bradford Wellington III, you are under arrest. Bradford staggers backward. Confusion floods his face. What? She reaches into her uniform collar, pulls out a badge on a chain, holds it high where everyone can see. The gold shield catches the decorative lighting. Special Agent Simone Harris, Central Intelligence Agency, Special Operations Division. The deck erupts, gasps, Shouts. People surge forward to see. Others scramble backward. Phones rise again, this time capturing something very different. Bradford's face drains white, then red, then white again. You're lying. This is fake. Kyle, she's... Every word you've said for the past 93 minutes has been recorded and transmitted. Simone holds up the button camera. Your conversation about the Iranian weapons shipment, $400 million, leaves Tuesday, all recorded. She taps her ear. A small, flesh-colored earpiece. Your discussion with Senator Hayes about bribing the Oversight Committee. Recorded. She touches her wrist, a bracelet that's actually a GPS tracker. Your physical assault of a federal officer conducting a lawful investigation, recorded and witnessed by 54 people. Bradford's mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out. Your threat to murder me and dispose of my body in international waters. She steps toward him. He backs away. Also recorded. Also witnessed. Also streaming live to CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia since 1900 hours. The helicopters are closer now. Their rotors thunder. Searchlights sweep the yacht. Captain Rodriguez, Simone calls to the bridge. Please bring us to shore. Federal agents are inbound. The captain, who received his briefing 3 hours ago, nods. Yes, ma'am. Coming about now. The yacht's engines rumble to life. The deck shifts as they turn toward Key Biscayne. Bradford finds his voice. It comes out strangled, desperate. This is entrapment. Illegal. You can't... I have a federal warrant authorizing this operation. Simone's tone stays professional, clinical. Signed by a district judge 6 weeks ago, based on evidence of your illegal arms trafficking to sanctioned nations. Your assault on me simply added additional charges. She pulls a small radio from her uniform pocket, speaks into it clearly. Nightingale to Overwatch. Target is contained, witnesses secured. Requesting immediate extraction and arrest team. Static. Then a voice that everyone on deck can hear. Copy, Nightingale. Excellent work. DOJ, FBI, and Coast Guard are inbound. ETA 4 minutes. Kyle Brennan tries to run. He makes it 3 steps before 2 yacht crew members, also part of the operation, block his path. He swings at one, misses, gets tackled to the deck. Senator Hayes edges toward the stairs leading below. Simone's voice stops him cold. Senator Hayes, I need you to stay where you are. Federal agents will want to speak with you about your knowledge of Wellington's criminal enterprise. His face goes gray. I want my lawyer. You can call them from the federal building. The helicopters arrive. 3 of them. Coast Guard markings. They hover above the yacht, rotors whipping everyone's hair. Ropes drop. Agents in tactical gear rappel down. They hit the deck hard. Move fast. 6 agents in full kit. Weapons drawn but pointed down. They spread out. Secure the perimeter. The lead agent approaches Bradford. Bradford Wellington III? Bradford can't speak. Just stares. Sir, you're under arrest for violations of the Arms Export Control Act, conspiracy to commit weapons trafficking to sanctioned nations, money laundering, bribery of public officials, assault of a federal officer, and conspiracy to commit murder. The agent pulls out handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. No, 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 no. Bradford's voice rises to a shriek. I'm Bradford Wellington. Do you know who I am? Do you know how much money I have? How many lawyers? The agent spins him around. Cuffs click closed on his wrists, behind his back, like a common criminal. You can't do this! I own senators, congressmen. I have the Attorney General's personal number. Then he'll be very disappointed to learn you're a traitor, the agent says flatly. More Coast Guard vessels appear, fast boats with flashing lights. They pull alongside the Providence, armed personnel board from 3 points. The guests panic. Some cry, Some demand their lawyers. Several try to delete their phones. Federal agents politely confiscate every device. Evidence. All of it. Kyle gets cuffed on the deck. He's screaming about police brutality. The irony is lost on him. Senator Hayes sits down heavily, puts his head in his hands. His career is over. He knows it. Bradford keeps shouting as agents lead him toward the boarding ladder. "Simone! Agent Harris! Please! I'm sorry! I didn't know who you were!" She walks over to him, looks him dead in the eyes. Her voice drops quiet. Only he can hear. "Would it have mattered if I was just a maid?" His mouth opens. Nothing comes out. "You meant every word. You've treated people this way for decades. You just finally did it to someone who could fight back." She steps aside, lets the agents take him. Bradford Wellington III, billionaire, philanthropist, defense contractor, gets walked off his own yacht in handcuffs. His $1,000 shoes slip on the ladder. An agent catches him. Not gently. News helicopters circle now. Their cameras capture everything. Within minutes, the video will be everywhere. The billionaire who assaulted a CIA agent, who threatened to feed her to piranhas, whose racist tirade was captured in 4K. Simone watches him disappear into a Coast Guard vessel. Then she turns to the FBI handler who just arrived. 3 weeks of surveillance footage, financial records, communications intercepts, all uploaded to the secure server. Plus tonight's assault was captured from 5 angles. The handler shakes her head in admiration. "Hell of a way to close an operation, Harris." "He made it easy." Simone allows herself a small smile. "They always do." The marina at Key Biscayne blazes with red and blue lights. 15 federal vehicles, 8 news vans. A crowd of 200 people pressed against police barricades. Everyone has their phones out. Recording, streaming, posting. Bradford Wellington stumbles off the Coast Guard vessel, still handcuffed, still screaming. "This is a mistake, a huge mistake. I'll sue every one of you." Cameras flash like lightning. He tries to turn away. Can't. The agents guide him forward. Perp walk. Every photographer's dream shot. "Mr. Wellington," a reporter shouts, "did you really try to kill a CIA agent? Did you threaten to feed her to piranhas? Is it true you've been selling weapons to Iran?" Bradford's lawyer, Richard Blackstone, rushes forward. Expensive suit. Bluetooth earpiece. The face of a man who knows his retainer just became worthless. "My client has no comment. This is a gross violation of his rights. We'll be filing—" An FBI agent steps in front of Richard. "Richard Blackstone?" "Yes, I'm Mr. Wellington's attorney, and I demand—" "You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit money laundering and obstruction of justice." Handcuffs appear. "We have your communications with Cayman Island banks, all of them." Richard's face collapses. "I want my lawyer." "Join the club." The agent leads him to a separate vehicle. Kyle Brennan gets dragged off next. His nose is bleeding from where he face-planted during his arrest. He spots a camera. Try to look tough. "This is police brutality. I'm a former law enforcement officer. They assaulted me." The camera operator yells back, "You just got arrested for assaulting a federal agent." Kyle shuts up, gets shoved into a van. Senator Mitchell Hayes walks off the yacht under his own power. No handcuffs yet. But 3 FBI agents flank him. His wife waits on the dock, crying, mascara running. "Mitchell, what's happening?" He can't look at her. "Call David. Tell him I need criminal defense, not my usual guy. Someone who handles federal cases." "Criminal?" Her voice breaks. "Mitchell, what did you do?" He doesn't answer. The agents guide him to an unmarked sedan. Drive away. His political career dies in the back seat. Celeste Wellington arrives in a limousine, steps out in Louboutins and a Chanel dress, sees the circus, sees her husband in handcuffs. Her face goes through 5 emotions in 3 seconds. She approaches an FBI agent. I'm Mrs. Wellington. Obviously, there's been some terrible misunderstanding. My husband is a respected businessman and philanthropist. Mrs. Wellington? A female agent interrupts. We have a warrant for your arrest as well. Celeste's mouth drops open. Excuse me? Money laundering through your charitable foundation. We have records of $12 million in illegal transactions. You signed off on every one. I didn't know what those were for. Bradford handles the finances. You signed the documents, ma'am. That makes you liable. Shh. Celeste tries to run, in 4-inch heels, on a dock. She makes it 6 feet before 2 agents catch her. She screams, thrashes, they cuff her anyway. Do you know who I am? Do you know how much my husband donates? We know the mayor, the governor. The agent's voice stays flat. They can visit you in prison. Simone watches from the yacht's deck. The guest list that read like a who's who of power now looks like a suspect list. Agents are taking statements from everyone, collecting phones, asking about weapons deals and money transfers and who knew what. Most of the guests claim ignorance, didn't see anything, didn't hear anything, just there for drinks and networking. The videos on their phones tell a different story. 50 people watched Bradford assault Simone, threatened to kill her. Not one intervened. Those videos are already viral. 10 million views in 2 hours, 20 million by midnight. The hashtag trends worldwide. Justice served, power checked, racism exposed. Simone's CIA handler approaches, a woman in her 50s named Director Carter. Gray suit, gray hair, zero tolerance for nonsense. Medical check? Carter asks. I'm fine. Your throat is bruised. Your wrist has finger marks. You're getting checked. Not a request. Simone nods, accepts the bottle of water Carter hands her. Her hands finally start shaking now. Adrenaline crash. Normal. Expected. You did good work, Harris. 3 weeks undercover. 0 blown operations until tonight. And tonight was unavoidable. He was going to kill me. I know. You made the right call. Carter puts a hand on her shoulder. The evidence you gathered? $2.4 billion in illegal sales. Connections to 3 foreign governments. Bribery of public officials. This case is going to bring down a lot of powerful people. Simone watches Bradford disappear into a federal vehicle, still shouting, still claiming innocence, still believing his money will save him. Good, she says quietly. 48 hours later, the FBI raids begin. Miami, New York, Aspen. 3 simultaneous strikes at dawn. Battering rams on mansion doors. Search warrants for properties worth $200 million combined. In Miami, agents find a warehouse behind Bradford's waterfront estate. Inside, crates marked industrial equipment. They pry one open. Missile guidance systems. Made in America. Destined for Tehran. Another crate holds armor-piercing rounds. Banned for export. Enough to outfit a small army. A third contains night vision equipment. Military grade. Serial numbers filed off. The warehouse manager tries to run. Gets tackled in the parking lot. He's crying before they even cuff him. I just loaded trucks. I didn't ask questions. In New York, agents strip Bradford's penthouse apartment. Behind a false wall in his study, servers, encrypted hard drives, financial records going back 8 years. Forensic accountants work for 6 days straight. What they find makes international news. $2.4 billion in illegal weapons sales, routed through 17 shell corporations. Bank accounts in the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore. Purchase orders signed by Bradford himself. Shipping manifests to North Korea, Syria, Iran, Russia. Every transaction is dated. Every wire transfer is tracked. Every bribe is documented. One spreadsheet lists political donations. $500,000 to Senator Hayes, $200,000 to 3 congressmen, $1 million to a presidential super PAC, all marked consulting fees. The Aspen ski chalet yields something worse. A locked safe in the basement. Inside, 4 passports, different names, all with Bradford's photo. Exit strategy. He planned to run if things went bad. Too late now. The media descends like locusts. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, BBC, Al Jazeera. Every outlet wants the story. Billionaire defense contractor, secret arms dealer, racist caught on camera. The yacht assault video gets dissected frame by frame. Body language experts analyze Bradford's aggression. Psychologists discuss narcissism and entitlement. Civil rights activists point to systemic racism in the wealthy elite. The video hits 50 million views, then 100 million. It trends for 3 weeks straight. Universities scramble to return Bradford's donations. Yale removes his name from a library wing. Harvard sends back $5 million. Stanford announces they're investigating all Wellington Foundation grants. Former staff members come forward, 15 of them. They tell stories that make the yacht incident look mild. Maria Gonzalez worked as a cook for 2 years. He threw a plate at my head because the steak was overcooked. I needed 6 stitches. James Carter was a driver. He called me every Asian slur you can imagine, fired me when I asked for overtime pay. Destiny Johnson cleaned houses for 3 years. Mrs. Wellington accused me of stealing her jewelry, made me strip searched. The jewelry was in her other purse. She never apologized. Every story adds weight to the prosecution's case. Pattern of behavior, history of abuse. 6 weeks after the arrest, the trial begins. Federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. The courtroom seats 200. The overflow crowds number in the thousands. People line up at 4 a.m. for a chance to watch. Bradford enters in a gray suit. His lawyer convinced him to wear humble colors. Look repentant. He can't pull it off. His face radiates rage. The prosecution team is led by Attorney General Marcus Webb, African American, Harvard Law, undefeated in federal court. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Webb begins, over the next 3 weeks, you will hear evidence of crimes so vast, so brazen, that you may struggle to believe one man committed them all. He clicks a remote. The yacht assault video plays on screens throughout the courtroom. Bradford pouring wine on Simone, calling her your kind, threatening to drown her. 3 jurors wince. 2 look away. The trial unfolds like a masterclass in federal prosecution. Day 1, financial crimes. Accountants testify about shell corporations and money laundering. Charts show money flowing from defense contracts to offshore accounts to weapons purchases. The numbers are staggering. $2.4 billion over 8 years, $300 million per year, $25 million per month. Day 3, the weapons themselves. A ballistics expert explains how American-made missiles ended up in Iran. These guidance systems gave Tehran capabilities they didn't have before. Day 5, Simone testifies. She wears her CIA dress uniform. Badges and ribbons earned over 8 years of service. The courtroom goes silent when she enters. Webb guides her through the 3-week operation, the surveillance, the evidence gathering, then the yacht assault. She describes it calmly, professionally. No emotion, just facts. The defense attorney cross-examines. He's desperate. Agent Harris, isn't it true you lied about your identity? I was operating under legal cover authorized by a federal warrant. You deceived my client. I was conducting a lawful investigation into his criminal enterprise. You provoked him. I served champagne and cleaned the floors. If that's provocation, your client has issues beyond this courtroom. Scattered laughter. The judge gavels for silence, but he's smiling slightly. The defense attorney tries another angle. Isn't it possible you misheard the conversation? Simone pulls out a tablet, taps play. Bradford's voice fills the courtroom. The Iranian shipment leaves Tuesday. 400 million. Crystal clear. No ambiguity. The defense attorney sits down. Defeated. Day 12. Senator Hayes testifies as part of his plea deal. He gets 12 years instead of 25 for cooperation. He describes the bribery scheme, the payoffs. Bradford said he owned us, said he could make one phone call and end any investigation. Hayes stares at his hands. He was right, until he wasn't. Day 18. Closing arguments. Webb walks to the jury box, makes eye contact with each person. Bradford Wellington believed his wealth placed him above the law and above human decency. He trafficked weapons that killed American soldiers. He assaulted a federal agent protecting this nation. He pauses. The law applies to everyone, regardless of bank account, regardless of connections, regardless of skin color. Today, you prove that. The jury deliberates for 4 hours. Guilty. All 47 counts. The courtroom explodes. Cheers. Gasps. Bradford collapses. His lawyers catch him before he hits the floor. 3 weeks later, sentencing. The judge is a black woman named Deborah Martinez, appointed by the previous administration, confirmed unanimously because her record was flawless. She looks at Bradford over her glasses. He's lost 30 pounds. His hair has grayed. Mr. Wellington, you've been convicted of 47 federal crimes. Before I pronounce sentence, do you wish to address the court? Bradford stands. His voice cracks. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I made mistakes. If I could go back, you can't. Judge Martinez's voice cuts like a blade. Your sorry comes too late, after you were caught, after you were convicted. She opens a folder. The weapons you sold killed 137 people, soldiers, civilians, children. You profited while they died. You assaulted a federal agent, threatened to murder her, all because your paranoia and racism convinced you she was less than human. Judge Martinez removes her glasses, leans forward. Your wealth could have helped people, built schools, fed hungry children. Instead, you chose cruelty. You chose crime. You chose contempt. She picks up her gavel. Bradford Wellington III, I hereby sentence you to 45 years in federal prison without possibility of parole. You will forfeit $2.4 billion in assets. You will pay an additional $500 million in fines. The gavel falls. Bradford screams. Guards drag him away. Celeste Wellington gets 18 years. Kyle Brennan gets 8. Richard Blackstone gets 15. The Wellington Empire crumbles. Well-Tech Defense Systems files for bankruptcy. But the weapons trafficking stops. The bribes end. And one billionaire who believed he was untouchable learns that justice doesn't care about money. 6 months later, CIA headquarters, Langley, Virginia. The ceremony room holds 200 people. Agents, analysts, directors, everyone in dress uniforms. The walls display portraits of fallen operatives. Heroes who gave everything. Today, they honor someone who survived. Simone Harris stands at attention. Her uniform is crisp, perfect. The bruises on her throat healed months ago. The finger marks on her wrist faded, but the memory stays sharp. CIA Director Catherine Morrison steps to the podium. Silver hair, steel eyes, 30 years of service etched into the lines of her face. Special Agent Simone Harris volunteered for one of our most dangerous domestic operations. She spent 3 weeks undercover in the home of a violent, unstable arms trafficker. She gathered evidence that led to 47 convictions, stopped $2.4 billion in illegal weapons sales, and she did it while enduring treatment no American should face. Morrison holds up a medal, the Intelligence Star, highest civilian honor the CIA awards, only given for extraordinary heroism. Agent Harris exemplifies what we stand for: courage, integrity, justice. She put herself at risk to protect this nation, and when threatened with violence, she never broke character until the moment was right. Simone steps forward. Morrison pins the medal to her chest. The room erupts in applause. It echoes off the walls, loud, sustained, deserved. Simone's voice is quiet when she speaks, but it carries. I didn't become a federal agent to be called a hero. I did it because I believe in a country where justice isn't determined by wealth or skin color. She looks out at the crowd, sees faces of every color, every background, people who chose service over comfort. Bradford Wellington spent decades believing people like me were beneath him. He forgot that dignity, intelligence, and capability aren't determined by race. Every person he abused, every staff member he degraded, they had dreams, families, worth. Her voice strengthens. The law doesn't see color. It sees right and wrong. And when someone breaks that law, when they hurt others, when they believe they're untouchable, that's when people like us step in. She pauses, lets the words settle. Bradford Wellington is in a supermax prison in Colorado. He lost everything. Money, reputation, freedom. His empire is dust. His name is poison. The room is silent now, listening. And every day he wakes up knowing that the woman he called your kind is the reason he's there. More applause. Simone steps back, accepts handshakes. Congratulations. But her mind is already on the next mission, the next operation, the next person who thinks they're above the law. Because there's always another Bradford Wellington, always another powerful person who mistakes wealth for immunity, who confuses position with permission to harm. And there are always people like Simone Harris, watching, waiting, gathering evidence. Justice might move slowly, but it moves. Here's what you need to understand. This story isn't unique. It's not rare. Every day, people abuse power. Every day, someone gets humiliated for their race, their background, their circumstances. Most of those stories don't end with CIA agents and federal trials. Most end with silence, with victims who have no recourse, no badge to reveal, no backup coming. That's why we share these stories, not for revenge, but for hope. Hope that justice still exists. Hope that power doesn't always protect the powerful. Hope that someone is watching when evil thinks no one sees. If this story moved you, share it. Share it with someone who needs to believe justice is possible. Someone who's been treated like they don't matter. Someone who's been told to know their place. Subscribe for more stories of accountability and courage. Follow for updates on real cases like this one. Because Bradford Wellington isn't fictional. Men like him exist, and they're being held accountable every single day. Comment below. Have you ever witnessed injustice and said nothing? What would you have done on that yacht? Would you have been the person filming, or the person who finally spoke up? Here's what I want you to think about tonight. If Simone hadn't been a CIA agent, just a regular maid, would anyone have helped her? Would you have? Or would you have been another person with a phone, recording but doing nothing? Justice shouldn't depend on who the victim is. It should depend on what's right. So here's my final question for you. When you see injustice happening in front of you, at work, in public, online, what will you do? Will you be a witness? Or will you be the person who stands up? Because the world doesn't change when good people do nothing. It changes when someone, anyone, decides enough is enough. Maybe that someone is you. Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. And remember, dignity isn't given. It's inherent. No one can take it from you unless you let them. Now go make someone's day better. This is your reminder that justice might be slow, but it's coming.
At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next uncut voice.